Hi ghouls! Welcome back to my channel. Elizabeth here. So today it's gonna be more of a tea vlog. I just wanna sit here and chat with you guys. I know I get a lot of questions on how did I get here with my fashion line, or how did I get into being a fashion designer. So my journey into the fashion world didn't start right away. I was not one of those people that I was always into the fashion, like fashion was my life. Since I was young, I was always doing fashion. I didn't really start off like that. And sorry for the echo, guys. I'm filming in my bathroom because my son is taking a nap right now and I don't want to wake him up or make noise. I didn't recognize my talent till very late in life. Since I was a kid, I was always directed towards more being a doctor. That it was more established to be a doctor or a lawyer or something in business for you could have a stable job, a stable home. And I was never taught that doing something you love could actually make you happy and you can make money from it. I was always diverged into doing something else. And since I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to be a cardiologist, I wanted to be a veterinarian, something in the medical field. As I was getting older and I went off to college, I was realizing that I did love science. I've always loved science, but it was a passion that was not making me happy as an adult because it was more of a free time. I like exploring new things. I love everything scientific, but in those terms of making it my career, I wasn't thinking of it like that anymore. And I was looking into going to medical school. I started realizing that that was not my passion. Doing medicine was not my passion, and I just didn't want to become a doctor just for the money. I started realizing then what my real passion was, and not knowing that I've always done my passion behind the scenes without even me knowing what I truly love. And since I was a kid, my dad always did my costumes every year by hand. And yes, my dad was the one that taught me how to sew, and he's the one that got me into the more of the artistic field. And since I was a kid, he always did that. But me not knowing, I always enjoyed doing that with him. That's the one thing me and my dad always have in common, is just doing art things. And I loved it. I've always loved coloring. I always loved doing little arts and crafts. When I was a kid, I would have my mom be selling my little crafts that I would do at her job. People would buy them, and me not knowing that that was my passion, doing things with my hands, being artistic. But I never realized that that was my passion because I was always blindsided that I had to be something that was stable for my family when I got older. And that blinded me knowing that I had a passion. I was always gifted with that side to be artistic, to do things with my hands. I got older and I was getting ready for my future. I realized that was not what was making me happy. And I always did custom designs for people. I always did, in high school, I would do my friends' prom dresses. I would be doing things on the side, designing things on the side for people, but I never realized that that was my passion. I was just doing it out of the kindness of my heart because people loved my ideas. They wanted me to design things for them. So I went ahead and made things for people. Sometimes I would not get the credit for it. I loved how I changed the view on how people viewed themselves. I gave them more confidence when I would make them something. When they would view themselves in my clothing, they just felt more empowered. I love that, and I started realizing this is what I'm meant to do. So I started looking into going into fashion school or something because I was very lost. At the beginning, it was very overwhelming because I didn't know where to start from. I didn't know what to do, but I know I wanted to be a fashion designer. And it was hard on me as well because I felt like I didn't have the support of my family. In my life, I either had to decide to go after something that's gonna make me money, but I'm gonna be miserable, or just something I love and make money from it eventually. So I decided, you know what, I'd rather be happy. I only live one life. I'm gonna do what I love to do. I'm gonna do my passion and pursue it. So I started researching things on my own, and I hope videos like this could help other people that feel lost at the beginning, that you don't know what to do for the rest of your life, because I know it's a big deal. It's a big decision to know what are you going to do for the rest of your life. And not all of us know what we're going to do. We feel lost at the beginning, especially. So when I started my journey to becoming a fashion designer, it was very tough because I did have a lot of obstacles that I had to overcome within me, because I also got married at that time when I was going to transition to becoming a fashion designer. I got married, I had my first son, and I had to pause there to become a mom and to become a wife. But I always knew that eventually I wanted to go back. I always knew I wanted to become a fashion designer deep down inside. And I always battled with, oh no, I'm a mom, I feel like I can't do anything. But then at the same time, I thought as myself, well, if I don't take care of myself, I can't be a great mom. And I want to be a good example to my kids. So I put my big girl panties on and I went back to school, studied fashion design, graduated, got my degree, and I didn't realize that in this fashion world, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition. I was fortunate enough to get a job right after I graduated, but I started realizing people glam up the fashion world than it really is. And it wasn't all glamorous like the way you see it on movies. The behind the scenes, you're not there to impress anyone, you're there to do the work. There's times that they have you doing samples or just going to deliver mail, just any little thing they have you doing. And I did learn a lot from interning and from my first job in the fashion world. I learned things that I could do better for my customers and things not to do in my own company. Eventually the company I worked for went out of business, they laid us off, and that's when my family grew as well. I had my second son and I realized, you know what? Maybe this is a clue that I need to start doing what I love to do, because most of the ideas I have in my head, I don't really see them out there. So then that's when I started realizing, when I had my second son, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to start my own business. I'm going to be my own entrepreneur. I know people glam up being an entrepreneur is everything, but it's hard shit. You gotta work your ass off. If you really want to be successful in what you love doing and being passionate about it is one chunk of being successful in doing what you love. Because you gotta learn and you gotta know like the back of your hand day and night. You gotta dream about it, you gotta breathe it, you gotta eat it, everything. You gotta know that what you're passionate about, you're always thinking about it and thinking of new ideas, thinking of how to be true to yourself. That's one thing I learned through this experience, is that you always gotta be true to yourself. Because the minute you try to conform to, I've had people be like, oh, why don't you switch up these designs for a little bit? And at the end of the day, it's either you decide to conform to the mass market to sell more, but eventually you'll die out because you'll just blend in with everyone else in the industry, or you stick to what is true to you, what you're passionate about, what your art is, because that will make you stand out from the rest of the crowd. And that's when I had to learn to say no. You have to worry about you and being true to yourself. Being true to yourself is the most important thing. I would say it's one of the top rules. Do not lose your true self in this industry, because it's very easy to try to blend in with everyone else because you want to be successful. But learn to have patience, because as long as you're true to you, you will become successful in what you're passionate about and what represents you as an individual. And that will make you stand out from the crowd and you'll eventually be successful. But what I have learned is that you need to have a lot of patience, but never give up. Never stop hustling. Never give up on your dreams, because they are right there. They're right there. And you gotta realize making your dreams come true is not easy. I know people might say it's easy. They give you the shortcuts to how they got there, but there's no shortcuts to success. There is no shortcuts. and you need to work your ass off. So I started little by little. I first started doing baby onesies. I would do, because I also love to draw, and I did a lot. I would usually sell my fashion illustrations. I would do it for weddings or baby showers, and I will sell that to people. Eventually people loved my artwork, so I would do little sketches of their kids, put it on onesies, and I would sell it to them. And that's how I started off my small business. So I started selling my onesies on the website, and then there'll be women that are pregnant. They wanted me to design special outfits for their baby showers, and I eventually started doing, I came out with my first maternity line where I was designing clothing for women that are in the workforce, that are in the business world, and they just want to be chic. It was my style for the maternity collection was very alternative wear meets Victoria Beckham style, where everything was very sleek, and I wanted it to have that edgy look to it, to the maternity look. At that point, I always thought I did not know how to make patterns. I was horrible at making patterns, and it's okay. At first I thought, wow, I can't do patterns, I can't do this, and I was always finding an excuse. Maybe I can't be an entrepreneur because or a fashion designer because I can't do this, I don't know how to draw, or I can't do pattern making, or I don't know how to drape. It's okay, we all learn some way or another, but it's the whole thing that you can't give up on yourself. And that's where I learned, okay, I was giving myself excuses that I couldn't start my own clothing line because I didn't know how to do patterns. And I started thinking to myself, I'm only hindering my own success. I'm giving my own self excuse, and that's horrible to bring yourself down. So I started telling myself, you know what, we all gotta learn somehow. Even after I finished school, I would still YouTube things, I would experiment on my own, and I eventually got better at doing pattern making, and I'm very surprised at how far I got to learning how to do patterns myself. So when I did my first line, it was a maternity wear. I wanted to experiment with that to see how I felt, because at that point, entering the fashion world, you do feel lost, like you don't even know where to start, you don't know what niche market to start off, men, women, kids. It's a broad spectrum. And I know I did not want to start off doing kids right away. Everyone's doing kids. I saw that there's not that much like high sophisticated, high fashion maternity wear that's still budget friendly. And I did great with my first maternity line. I still have pieces from my first maternity line left over that I do giveaways of it on Mother's Day on my Instagram in case you guys want to win a piece from my maternity line. You could always check out my Instagram. I have always been a so-called, how people call me, a weird person. I don't care. I'm weird and I own it. I've always loved the strange and unusual things, and I always wondered, why can't clothes be like that? I've always loved the way children's clothes are fun. And eventually I got to the point where I started realizing, why can I not make women's clothing fun? And it was hard to get to that point where I realized that being a fashion designer was my passion, that was what I really wanted to do. And it's a journey within your own self. I want people to realize that it's not easy to get there to that point, that you know what your passion is, that you know what you're going to do for the rest of your life, because most of us do not know. And I was that person. I was confused. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I feel like it was a big deal for me to think about what I was going to do for the rest of my life, because you only have one life, and I overthink everything. So when I finally got to the point of realizing that I wanted to be a fashion designer was when I started becoming more happy and my depression went away, and I looked forward to waking up every morning and coming up with new ideas, drawing them out, doing my fashion illustration, doing mock-ups of it, doing patterns, and finally seeing the finished product. When I first did that, I cried because I realized that this was truly what made me happy. And I know it's a difficult journey. I'm still struggling with my business. It hasn't skyrocketed. It hasn't hit like, oh, I'm earning thousands of dollars a month. No, I'm earning a couple hundred and that's it. But I'm realizing it's a journey. You have to be patient. I love what I do, and as long as I love doing what I do and I care for you guys, because I live off of your guys' gratitude. I love seeing how you guys send me little notes, little reviews on my clothing. That makes me cry, and that makes my heart feel so big, because I love you guys. I love producing work for you to wear and make you feel more confident and empowered. So when I finally decided what my company was really going to represent, I started envisioning a very powerful woman. And I realized that women's clothing is too dainty, too delicate. And I keep seeing that pattern where women's clothing just continues to be very delicate, feminine, but not every woman out there likes that look, because me, myself, I'm not a girly girl. I love things that are edgy, alternative, gothic, out there, strange, unusual. And it's very hard for me to find something that represents me, because I don't label myself as gothic, alternative, punk. I just like what I like, and there's no explanation to it. So I started thinking, why can I not design clothing like that? That it's for anyone who wants to wear it. You don't have to be a certain label. I just want you to feel empowered in yourself. I want you to feel confident, and I want you to feel that you're that woman that could kick some ass, that you don't have to be timid. So I started realizing and noticing that the fun in women's clothing was missing as well. And I noticed that there's a lot of fun stuff in kids' clothing. Like they have little hidden secrets of pockets with little goodies inside, or they have a little puppet sticking out of their pocket, or they have little cool glitter aliens floating around. Those are the little details that sell me in every product. And I started realizing, why don't they incorporate that into adult clothing? Because me as an adult, I'm a huge kid at heart, and I wish adult clothing were more like. And that's when I started thinking, like, adult clothing has become too serious. And that's what fashion design was for me. It was fun. It's like doing arts and crafts, doing art. It's supposed to be fun for you. I wanted my company to represent. I envisioned me designing clothing that is fun, because clothing shouldn't be taken too seriously. It's just clothes at the end of the day. You don't have to worry about, oh, I have to be this certain thing or that certain thing. No, just that clothing should be fun to experiment, like you're playing dress up. I want to make adult clothing fun, because everything should be fun. We shouldn't, that's what brings us joy. As long as we feel happy, we feel confident, and we are having fun at the same time, our lives get brighter. And that's what I want to bring to my own company. And for now, it is hard. It's doing everything myself and still being a mom and doing things around the house, taking care of my 2 kids, knowing that they're okay, but at the same time still doing my business on the side. It's not easy. I do whatever I gotta do at night, and I get things done. My clothing is an extension of who I am. It's a way of me expressing my vision, or the way I view the world, or my imagination. I want to share it to the world. And it's hard times that I work through the night, and I go to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I have to wake up at 6 in the morning to take the kids to school. But learning balance is a huge plus for me, because I have learned what routine I have for my kids, and those break times I get, I work it. I focus on my business, and that has helped me a lot. So what I want my company, what I want to bring to my company is, I want to make clothing fun again. I want to incorporate little surprises for you guys in there. I want you to be that powerful woman you are. And I want you to feel like you have that body armor, like this robotic superwoman goddess that you are, that you could kick some ass, that don't think of yourself as this dainty flower. That's what I want to bring into my world of fashion design. And I want to share it with you guys, how my journey goes. This is my first chapter on letting you guys know how I've gotten to this point, but I just want to thank you guys for the love and the support you have given me through this journey. Right now, I might be doing everything myself. I do the cutting, I do the sewing, I go get the fabric myself, and I'm a one-woman show for now. I know it's not gonna be like that forever, but I know we all gotta work our asses off at the beginning. We all gotta hustle. And I'm so happy that I could do these videos for you guys, to give you guys a hint on how it could help you guys figure things out, on how to show you guys that it's not easy at the beginning. It's never easy. I'm very grateful that I have the support from my husband, that he supports me in every step of the way, and he's my #1 fan. He's the one that has pushed me constantly to pursue what I love. I can't even count on my fingers how many times I've given up on my dreams because I felt like it was not going to get me anywhere. I'm not seeing any money right now, and he has always continuously told me, I see something great in you, and he is the one that has helped me a lot to where I am. And I'm very thankful for all his love and support, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here pursuing my passion. And I want you guys to know that you're not alone. If you feel alone, that you're not sure of what your passion is, you're not sure if you could pursue it, you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you no matter what. Don't give up. I did not give up on myself, neither can you. And if you have that opportunity, you have the support from your family, go for it. Because once you start it, trust me, there's no stopping you. You're gonna be this hurricane of just positivity. Thank you for all the love and the support. Don't forget that everything from my first collection is still on sale on my website, and don't forget to use my coupon code EALCALA at checkout for an extra 10% off your total purchase, and I'll link it down below in case you guys want to use it. But I love you guys so much, and I can't wait for what the future brings for me and how much I'm going to be able to share more of my creative, crazy ideas with you guys. And don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. Bye, ghouls. Thank you for watching.